Hello everyone and welcome back on my channel. Today I want to do a child-free memes part 3 and I'm sorry about the noises. It's early in the morning so you can probably hear the birds outside and my pets inside. But I hope you can live with that. So today is going to be a little bit cozy because it's early in the morning so you can actually see the lights behind me. If you want to see my first two child-free memes videos, I'm gonna link them down below and probably also in the iCard, and I'm just going to jump right into the video. I just want to say before I jump into the video that in this video my bangs are looking pretty weird, and that's simply because they were new and I had to go down to get them corrected. I have gotten them corrected now so it looks as it should. I'm just going to say it so you're prepared for my bangs looking weird in this video. When a parent tells me that their kid is an angel, whispering, so was Lucifer. So often parents compliment their kids a lot, and I think that's a great thing because you need to give your kids self-confidence, and talking in a good way about them is great. But I think because they look so positively on their kids, they kind of blind themselves and cannot see how horrible the kids also can be at times. I really agree with this one. Lucifer was also an angel. And this is a Danish one. It says, I'm beginning to understand why baby is said in a way that is should be. So that's how I can translate it, because in Danish we say baby, baby, and bay is shit. So there's a shit in the word we use to say baby, in the pronunciation, not in the way we spell it. And you know, a kid shits a lot, so that's why it's funny. But yeah, again, Danish one, so I don't know if you understand it. And this is again with the pets being more preferable than the kids. Cat, 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 baby. So it's just excited about the cats, but not about the baby. So I can relate to that. Kids can be cute, but I prefer a pet over human beings just in general. That's just the way I am. If you don't have children, life has no meaning. If you do have children, life still has no meaning, but now you're also poor and irritated. So it really depends on how much money you have each month, if you're poor or not. So, but you definitely have less money most of the time when you have a kid, and the irritation and the stress definitely comes from the kids, because kids just are a big challenge and they're probably the pet that is hardest to take care of. Know that kids aren't pets, that's just a joke. Just because women can have babies doesn't mean they owe the world babies. I agree with this one. We don't owe anyone anything, and that's also when it comes to them men that call themselves nice men who aren't actually nice, that they think that women owe them something, like they owe them sex or they're owed a partner, and no one is owed anything. It's a pretty dark one, by the way. I changed my mind about having kids. I'm gonna have one and feed it to despair because I love him so much. So I wanted to take this one into the mix, not because I agree with the dark ones, but just to show you what florates around the child-free groups. The humor can be this dark, and I really don't like that because I think it's really wrong. It's not alright to kill a baby in any way, and it's not alright feeding it to an animal. So I just think this becomes a little too dark. But I've talked about the negative or the toxic side of the child-free community. I'll leave that in the iCard and down below, where I generally talked about this. But this was just an example to show you the dark humor that florates around these groups. Kids sick day, dad sick day, mom sick day. So yeah, this is also one of the things I would be afraid of if I had kids. That the mom is kind of the one doing all the things, and when the kid and the dad is sick, they actually have time to get well, the mother doesn't, because she still has to do all the chores in the house. And everyone depends on her, even the pets. Not having kids for financial reasons, not having kids because of genetic reasons, not having kids because the world is shit, not having kids because I don't want to. So this is just reasons why people don't want kids, and sometimes you don't even have to have a reason, because just you not wanting kids should be reason enough. So you should not have to justify why you do not want kids to other people. Therapist. It's good you are in therapy. You will break your generational trauma tree. Me, it says not to our children. Break the generational tree instead. Modern problems require modern solutions. So yeah, you're breaking the whole tree, that's true. And actually I don't think that's a bad thing when it comes to me, because damn, I've had a shitty family. And there's definitely mental health problems with them and with me, so I don't want to pass that down to a kid. When you're having a peaceful dinner and then in comes a family with 2 screaming children. Yeah, I don't go to restaurants that often, but I really relate to it when it comes to the supermarket and grocery shops just in general, where there's screaming kids. And for me, I have sensory issues, so every sound takes my attention, and if there's screaming kid on top of all those noises, I can't focus anymore, and it's horrible. You must not have children. I also don't have a pilot license, but when I see a helicopter in the tree, I know somebody fucked up. So I agree with this one. It's when you're trying to give advice to parents and they say that you must not have children, so you cannot advise them on anything. I think this is kind of wrong, because just this meme says you can see when something is going really wrong. But I also think the parents kind of right, because you don't know as much as them in some areas because you don't have kids. So both sides are right, because when someone really fucked up, other people will know. But there's also a lot of things you don't know because you don't have kids. So you can't advise about everything, but I don't think you can't advise about anything either. You still have some life advice that you can probably give to the person if you can see they have fucked up in some way. Because if a person fucks up, that is visible, so for everyone. So someone say a lot of men don't actually want to participate in raising their children, they just like the aesthetic of having a family. So I think everyone loves to follow the norm, and that's the reason why a lot of people end up with kids and end up regretting it, because they follow the norm. And I've also made a video about regretting having kids, or a Facebook group about that. I'll link it down below and in the iCard. Friend, I'll come and visit you with my kids, but they don't like dogs. Can you lock them inside? Me, of course, no problem. And then it's the kids that have been locked inside because they think it's the kids that are problems. So yeah, I agree with this. I would also rather lock the kids inside, because they're all over the place. I know pets can also be that, but not in the same way. Use this or the baby wins. Probably the best image on a condom ever. And it's so funny because my boyfriend, he calls my birth control go away children pill. That's also pretty funny. Colleague, hey, I want to see pictures of my kids. Me, 0% interest. I'd definitely rather see a picture of your pet than a picture of a kid. One day, son, all this will be yours. It's kind of people not thinking through when they have kids, because what world will the kids grow up in, and will there even be a world, because, you know, climate change and all this. So there might not even be a world, there might be war, there might be even more problems, they might not have clean water. There are just so many things that is almost definitely gonna get worse than it is today, if you just think about it logically. So this really puts into perspective that a lot of parents don't think it through. That it's really a selfish choice, because they don't think about what world the kid will grow up in, because they will not be there when all this happens. Baby, not cute. Puppy, hello at you, you little bundle of joy. So yeah, I also talk baby talk, so pets and not kids. I'm like, oh, you're so amazing. Oh, you're so good. Collapsing birth rate is the biggest threat to society. Me looking at the world I'm expected to bring children into. So this is kind of down the line of the other one meme that I just showed you, where the world is collapsing. There's so many bad things happening in the world, and I think this is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't want kids, because they don't want to bring their kids up into the world as it is today, and it's probably even gonna get worse with climate change and all that. Name one reason to want to create an entirely new person that is 100% selfish. So I'm kind of angry with this, because both the people who choose to have kids and the people who choose not to have kids are selfish in some way. Because the choice. It's about what you want, and therefore it's selfish, in my opinion. I just wish women without children were seen as just as important as those with kids. I definitely agree. And I think it's down to objectifying women and only making them to have one purpose in life. And that's really wrong, because everyone has multiple purposes in life. We don't just have one, and this is just a purpose that some of us don't want to fulfill, but maybe want to fulfill other purposes. Maybe we want to have pets and be a really good pet parent and make them happy. Or maybe we want to volunteer, or maybe we want to have a great career, or maybe we want to be creative. There's so many other things that you can do that also have a purpose that is not about having kids and procreating. Woman who filled void with baby, Mrs. Void. Yeah, I think maybe people are like, oh, I have so much free time. And then when they get a kid, they're just like, oh, I have no free time. Or almost no free time. I love this one. Stress of having kids, parents, people with no kids. I think it's really, really stressful to have kids, and me who has a mental illness, I really easily get stressed, and getting stressed can really make me sick. So kids are just really not for me, and that's because of the stress of it. How much stress the people having kids can get from having kids, because it really is a tough job. When your mom asks when you are going to give her grandbabies, and then there's just puppies. If we have a child allergic to cats, what do? Me. We leave the kid behind. Again, preferring pets over kids, and I totally agree with this. I prefer pets over people, to be honest. International Childfree Day. So I just wanted to include this because I don't know if you knew it, but there's apparently an International Childfree Day. I did not know this, but it's amazing that there is a day to celebrate the people who do not want kids, because we are a minority. And I think it's important to celebrate minorities, whether it be with Pride or it be with a Childfree Day. So I think that's amazing. When someone says you change your mind about not wanting kids, and then there's just people laughing, I think that you can never know if you change your mind in the future. You can only know where you stand right now. And from my perspective right now, this is very true, because there are so many more reasons why I don't want kids than there are reasons why I want kids. Me watching someone load 3 screaming kids into a minivan is expressionless. And I kind of get that. It's just like watching the Titanic like go down, and you're just like, I don't even know how to react to this. It's just so wrong. It's just so disturbing. It's just so mesmerizing in some way, because it's just like, I'm so glad that it's me. That's just what you honestly think. It's like, I'm so glad that it's my life. I'm so glad you're having a baby and I'm not. So I agree with the statement. I just think it's really wrong to give a person this card at their birthday or something, because it's passive aggressive in my opinion. It's just like, you don't have to spat your opinion out everywhere. There's a time and a place to tell someone your opinion, so please don't do it in a gift card or something like that. There's a time and a place to use a statement like this, and mostly I would say this statement is something you say to other people who are childless. You don't really say it to the person who has a kid. I just find it really, really wrong to say, and kind of passive aggressive. Me, the kids haven't eaten their sandwiches. Okay, just throw them out. Me, helping the kids pack a suitcase. Look, I'm as surprised as you are. So there's a lot of them where it's just misunderstanding what the person is saying, because they'd rather just get rid of the kids than the sandwiches. Again, another funny one. Condom commercials should just be a live feed of couples trying to enjoy a decent meal at a restaurant with their kids. Yes. It should just actually be just a day of someone having kids, and just sped up where you just see how much it takes to have kids. There are other ways to bring love into the world than having children. Yes, as I talked about earlier, you can have multiple purposes. Most people have multiple purposes in life. So you just need to find a thing that brings you joy in life. And that doesn't have to be kids. But it could be if you want kids, of course. Everyone wants a baby till it's 3 AM and you and the baby are both staring at each other crying. This is again about how stressful it is, and especially having a newborn baby you can't really communicate with. That must be so hard because you have to figure out what they want, and sometimes you can't figure out what they want, and that's really frustrating. Me posing with the only grandchild and parents will ever get a cactus. We also have cactuses. Oh, my boyfriend has a cactus. We don't have multiple because I like how it looks, but you know, dog keeping isn't really nice because it's not nice to get poked by a cactus. Believe me, that hurts. And then you have to get the stingers or whatever they call out of your hand afterwards. That's just not nice. It is my observation that anyone who's decided to be child-free has spent more time analyzing if they can take care of a kid and be a good parent than people with kids. So again, I disagree with this one because I definitely think there's parents out there who really think it through just like child-free people do. And I don't like when we just put people in groups like this because everyone isn't the same. We're all different. So there are definitely parents who have really thought it through. But some have not. I agree with that. Some parents have not thought it through, have just gotten a kid. And when it's that case, then it's really wrong. Women who don't want kids aren't selfish, are not less of a woman, aren't immature, won't necessarily change her mind, won't necessarily be a lonely old cat lady, which is a disgusting patriarchal stereotype. Don't owe you any explanation whatsoever. So don't owe you any explanation whatsoever. I really agree with that one. I don't agree with us not being selfish because not wanting children is a choice you've made because what you want. So it's a selfish choice, like getting kids also is. I really agree with you. I'm not less of a woman. And immature. Well, some people might not get kids because they are immature. So I disagree with that one. Won't necessarily change their mind. They might not. Who knows? And they won't necessarily be a lonely old cat woman. Well, I agree with this one. When the annoying kid running around the restaurant finally hits his head and starts crying. Well, it is kind of mean, but I get why it's kind of funny. But me personally, I would be more like, is the kid okay? And if it's a kid I know, I would be like, no. Actually, in every scenario, I think I'd be like, is the kid okay? Is there someone helping the kid? Or should I go and help the kid? So that's probably what is going through my mind, but I'm kind of an empathic person, but I get why this is funny. You know who is toxic? Toddlers. Toddlers will act a fool all day and then hug you at the end of the night like they ain't terrorized you, the furniture and the dog earlier. This is really funny. This is just a great joke because toddlers are really hard to understand and they can cry like over what seems nothing for us, but it might be a big thing for them. So it's really going down to their level on understanding what they're sad about, because they might be sad about something you wouldn't be sad about because you're an adult, but for them it's really, they might be feeling a lot of emotions. That was the last one. It was also a bit of a longer video today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more child-free memes videos, they are definitely coming up in the future. I really enjoy making these ones. I think it's funny, both talking about why they are funny, but also talking about why they are wrong sometimes, and are really accurate. And when we in the child-free community also stereotype people who are in the child-free community or people who have kids, because we should really try to stop using stereotypes on people because we are all different. Yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you like my videos, and I'll see you soon in another video. Bye guys!